Have you ever sat in your favorite chair, looked out the window, and thought, who do I really want to share my days with now? Maybe it's a quiet afternoon, the tea's still warm, and the house feels just a little too still. Or maybe the kids have moved far away, the phone doesn't ring as often, and the silence, once peaceful, now feels a little heavy. You're not alone in that feeling. As we age, the idea of home changes. It's no longer just a place filled with furniture or memories. It's about who fills the space with you. And at this stage of life, who you choose to live with can deeply affect your happiness, your health, and even how long you live. Not long ago, I had a conversation with a remarkable man, 92 years old, sharp as ever. He's lived through wars, loss, joy, and decades of wisdom. And when I asked him, what's the secret to living a long, happy life after 70? He didn't hesitate. He smiled and said, live with the right person, not necessarily the one you expect. That's the real medicine. That simple answer stayed with me, because it's not always about who you think you should live with. Sometimes, it's about who brings peace to your daily rhythm, who supports your independence, or even who makes you laugh during the quiet moments. Let's start with the most common thought, moving in with your adult children. On paper, it sounds ideal. They love you, you helped raise them, and now they can help you. But here's the thing, just because they're family doesn't mean you'll thrive under the same roof. If their lifestyle is chaotic, their home filled with stress, or they unintentionally make you feel like a burden, it can quietly weigh you down. And that's not the life you deserve in your golden years. But on the flip side, when it works, living with your children can be beautiful, especially if there's open communication, respect, and space for your independence. That's key. The best setups are where you're included, not managed, where you're still treated like the strong, capable adult you are, not someone who needs constant watching. Now, here's something the 92-year-old man said that really surprised me. He believes the best person to live with after 70 might not be family at all, but a friend. Think about it. A close friend, maybe someone you've known for years, or even someone you've recently bonded with over shared experiences. You've likely seen the same ups and downs, maybe faced widowhood or retirement around the same time. And there's something powerful in living with someone who understands what you're going through without explanation. You laugh at the same old jokes, appreciate quiet moments, and give each other space when needed. That kind of companionship can reduce stress, boost mental health, and actually strengthen your immune system. The science backs it up, too. Studies show that strong social connections, especially ones built on trust and friendship, are some of the biggest predictors of long-term well-being after 70. And co-living with a trusted friend can give you both emotional warmth and practical support, without the emotional baggage that can sometimes come with family. So maybe, just maybe, the key isn't always in going back to our roots. It's in planting new ones. Choosing who you live with now is a declaration of how you want to live the rest of your life. Surrounded by peace, laughter, and people who see you, not just your age. Let's keep going, because there's another type of living arrangement that more and more people are turning to after 70. One that balances independence with companionship. One arrangement that's quietly becoming more popular, and for good reason, is shared housing with other older adults. Think of it like a senior version of roommates, but with more heart, more empathy, and a shared understanding of this unique stage of life. It might sound unusual at first. After all, many of us were raised to believe that aging means becoming more private, more withdrawn. But the truth is, humans are social creatures, no matter what decade we're in. And loneliness, that's more dangerous to your health than you might realize. Studies have shown that chronic loneliness can be as harmful as smoking 15 cigarettes a day. It can increase your risk for heart disease, dementia, even early death. Now, imagine the opposite. Waking up in a home where someone greets you in the morning, where meals are shared, where the silence is replaced by gentle conversation, shared activities, maybe even some friendly disagreements over which movie to watch. These small interactions become lifelines, reminders that we still belong, that we're still part of something. In these shared senior homes or co-living setups, everyone brings something to the table. One person might be great at gardening, another might love to cook. One might be a storyteller, while another is the quiet listener who brings peace to a room. When it works well, it feels less like aging and more like living. That 92-year-old man I mentioned earlier, he spent 5 years living with 2 other seniors in a small bungalow just outside town. They weren't relatives, just 3 people who had lost their spouses and decided not to face the rest of the journey alone. They split expenses, cooked together, even took turns planning little weekend outings, a drive to the countryside, a walk through the market, or just sitting outside with lemonade on a warm day. And when one of them fell ill, the others stepped in, not as caregivers, but as friends, as chosen family. That kind of support system is priceless, especially when it grows naturally from respect and mutual care, not obligation. Of course, it's not always easy. Living with anyone, at any age, requires patience, compromise, and communication. But the rewards can be life-changing, a sense of purpose, daily connection, even laughter you hadn't heard in years. And here's something else worth considering: pets. Yes, animals can be remarkable companions, but they can also bridge the gap in shared homes. A cat that curls up next to you both, a dog that gets you out for daily walks together. They bring joy, rhythm, and routine. 3 things that often fade after 70, but are so vital to feeling alive. What matters most isn't whether you live with your child, a friend, a fellow senior, or even a beloved pet. It's that your home feels like a place of safety, meaning, and mutual respect. You should feel free to move at your own pace, speak your mind, and most importantly, be seen for the person you still are, not just the age on your ID. And for those who truly value their solitude, those who thrive in peace and quiet, there's still a way to stay connected without sharing walls. But we'll get to that next, because there's one more kind of living setup that combines freedom, dignity, and deep connection without giving up your space. Now let's talk about those of you who love your independence, who feel most at ease in your own space, where everything is just how you like it. The books are in the right place, the chair by the window knows the shape of your back, and there's a certain peace in knowing the rhythm of your day belongs only to you. But here's the truth that man at 92 shared with me: even the strongest people need connection. But connection doesn't always mean cohabitation. And that's where the beauty of intentional companionship comes in. Living alone, yes, but staying deeply woven into the lives of people who matter. It could be a neighbor you check in with every morning, a sibling you call each night after dinner, a walking partner, a church friend, a book club, or even someone you met at the park and just clicked with. You don't have to share a roof to share life. You just have to show up, consistently and meaningfully. Because one of the most overlooked secrets to a long, contented life isn't just who you live with. It's how often you feel truly connected to another human being. In fact, many older adults are creating informal living networks, staying in their own homes, but scheduling regular get-togethers, shared grocery runs, rotating dinners, or even virtual chats if distance makes it tricky. These arrangements provide the best of both worlds: the freedom to close your door and rest, and the comfort of knowing someone is just a phone call or a knocked away. The 92-year-old told me about a friend of his, Margaret, who never remarried after losing her husband. She loved her little house, her quiet time, and her cat. But every Tuesday, she had dinner with the same group of women. And every Friday, she and her neighbor watched old movies together, switching homes each week. It wasn't flashy or dramatic, but it gave her life structure, warmth, and a reason to look forward. And that's really the point, isn't it? We don't need big, sweeping gestures in our later years. What we crave is presence. Someone to laugh with during commercials. Someone who notices when we don't feel quite right. Someone who says, "I made an extra cup of tea, thought you might want one." Whether you live with someone or just keep a tight circle of trusted souls close by, the goal is the same: to feel supported, understood, and included. So if you're wondering who you should live with after 70, maybe the answer is simpler than you think. Live with someone who respects your pace, who listens more than they talk, who doesn't just take care of you, but walks beside you. It could be a child, a lifelong friend, a fellow senior, or even just a close-knit community you built over time. But the right person, or people, will never make you feel small. They'll remind you, every single day, that your presence still matters. And if you haven't found them yet, don't worry. Sometimes, they come into your life when you least expect it, through a chance encounter, a shared laugh, or a simple hello in the right moment. What matters most now isn't the size of your house.